Welcome back to Crash Command Games, everybody. I'm going to take this headset off because I have been getting not like super heated, but man, I'm seeing tons of video content, forums, all of that. What are we talking about? We're talking about Gravy Bones. We're still talking about how we need to ban all of these cards from Gravy Bones. We're still talking about how we need to ban things. And I'm so tired of it. Why? Well, let's talk about that. It's just... every time I hear the word ban, what I hear in my head is I want to play Battleships and I want to play My Hero the way that I want to in this competitive card game, and I need the whole world and the whole meta to bend around me. Otherwise, it's not a good game and I'm not having fun. Oh no. Cut it out. Just stop. You say, oh man, we need to ban, let's start talking about the cards that people want to ban. Saltwater Swell. Yes, the card is incredible, right? In this last video that I just shot, Gravy vs. Gravy Mirror, right? It's going to be out on Friday. Go ahead and check that out. You would already be seeing it right now if you're a patron. Make sure to subscribe to that. Spread all of this information just so people know that there's options and they learn how to deal with metas, okay? Because that's what we're doing. So Saltwater Swell. In this last game I played, there was a turn where I had all red hand. But I compassed at the right time, because some of the hardest skill of that deck is knowing when to compass. Compass, look, see, chum. Crack a gold to loot with Gravy Bones. That requires me to have had set up gold in the previous turns and saved it and not used it like an idiot. Discard the chum, turn on dead threads, play Saltwater Swell. This is where the little sprinkling of luck goes in there. Not really because I built the deck with 33 blues. A good chance it's going to hit, 50-50 about, because I cut it down to 60 to 62 cards for the match. And in goes a blue, fixing my whole hand. It didn't turn on High Tide, but it fixed my hand and let me play the game. Saltwater Swell is so clutch in the hands of a good player and okay in the hands of an okay player. It really scales with the player very well. I don't think we need to be touching that card. I literally just gave you an anecdote, and we've seen many times about how people either get really lucky in Spike or get really unlucky. My opponent in that same game, Saltwater Swelled and flipped over the chum because they had previously used the compass. I don't know if it was incorrect at the time. I'd have to sit there and review it, but just wasn't as lucky. Now, that's not exactly a ban-worthy card, right? You need to have good planning, or if you have a good pitch stack, which is what I start doing with that card sometimes, then you know what you're going to hit. It's a good skill card. Don't touch it, okay? Next, we talk about Golden Tipple. By the way, these are all pirate cards. These are not Gravy Bones specific cards. These are pirate cards. They're not even in the generic pool. Golden Tipple. 3/2/1 attack. 3/2/1 attack. Draw a card, discard a card. If it's yellow, get a gold. Or discard a card if it's yellow, draw a card, get a gold. Whatever. 3 minutes in. Whatever the hell we do, right? It's Golden Tipple. Without this card, Gravy Bones doesn't really function as well. And it's just... I don't know how to describe it. You could look at other cards to ban, but I don't want you banning any cards, period. You just can't do Tipple. Tipple helps in the mirror, helps with other ally-based decks, and helps him kind of keep pace and tempo. It's only 3 and 2 damage at a time, but if your opponent is tracking their life properly and really assessing threats, that 3 or 2 damage are those little cuts and nicks that will get the game in Gravy Bones' favor if not paid attention to by the opponent. It's a skill checker that also is the engine for his deck. It's like saying you want to ban reaction cards out of Warriors. You just can't. You can't. It's their engine. It's how they work. It's how they play. Other cards that would be possibly on the chomping block. Allies? No. You don't touch allies. That's his whole thing. That's the whole Necromancer game. You can't really touch Conqueror of the High Seas. That just hurts pirates, and Conqueror is not really the card that sets that deck off. There's 3 of them. They're huge. They swing tempo. They push damage. And they give gold. They're very good. But they're just not what I think drive that deck. Another card would be Portside Exchange is another possible target. Those kind of cards. I believe if I don't negotiate with terrorists, but in the hypothetical world where you're going to ban a card, you could get rid of Portside Exchange. It's a 3-block. It's a blue. It generates gold. It draws cards. It does a lot. So it takes out 3 of those from Gravy Bones and makes them look at other options, but there's not a lot of other good pirate options that do the same thing. And that's just a kiss of hate towards Gravy Bones. If we're talking about bans, LSS, and you really need to, Portside Exchange is a minor piece that nudges the needle a little bit. That card can also set up big turns. It gives them gold. It does everything that they want. Puts a blue in their graveyard. Turns on gravy. That card is great. But it is, in fact, only 3 cards. And that would be the lightest kiss. And it doesn't look like any other heroes are really playing it right now. So maybe a restriction on Portside Exchange. Maybe a suspension until Gravy Bones LLs. I don't know. I don't like talking about it. It's not a good idea. You shouldn't touch cards. Collectors don't like when you ban cards. Players don't like when you ban cards. Players don't like when they have a locked meta, but this is not a locked meta. And that's kind of another thing I want to touch on. Let's go ahead and look at the Kansas City top 8. Let's bring it up right here. We'll just overlay it on the screen, right? Now that we're here, I kind of want to talk about the Kansas City round 13 pairings, aka the top 8 for the Calling Kansas City. We talk about Gravy Bones and his dominance and how he's so crazy, and what the representation was could be a little too high. And I've always said this, popular heroes who show really well with big tournament players become overrepresented. Now, does that mean that they're broken? No, it just means that they're overrepresented because a few people see some of their favorite players playing that deck, or it's just a really cool hero. A combination of those things, you know, they're not mutually exclusive. Happens to be the case with Gravy Bones, in my opinion, because he's not unbeatable. And we'll go over what you need to do in order to position yourself against this meta right now. For now, let's look at this top 8, okay? We see Andrew Blackwell and Acilio versus Connor Bryant, Dash.io. Both of those heroes beat the living hell out of Gravy Bones. Dash can beat the living hell out of Gravy Bones. Acilio burns him alive before he can even respond, and Gravy just cannot defend against the onslaught that is Acilio. Okay, unfortunate pairing. Next up is Gravy versus Prism. I don't remember the result of this one. Prism should have won, though, because Prism also, these 3 heroes right here, Acilio, Dash.io, and Prism, are all 3 on, if you've watched some of my previous videos during this Gravy Bone season, you know that those 3 heroes are on my list of you can beat the living hell out of Gravy Bones with these guys. Also the Warriors, which there is one here. And then we have Gravy versus Gravy. We're going to see one of them advance to the next round, that's just going to happen when they're overrepresented. And then we have Acilio and Fang. 2 heroes that, again, on my list of can beat the living hell out of Gravy Bones. This top 8 guaranteed that 2 Gravy Bones were going to face each other. And that's cool because it eliminates the possibility of more. But this is a good top 8. There's the popular overrepresented deck, and then the counters to that deck are in the top 8. Perfect. Let's see how this went. We have Dash.io taking it against Acilio, very standard. Acilio doesn't have a lot of chance against Dash.io. She's very fast, does a lot of damage. Yes, Acilio could pop off, but this is an expected result. The Gravy Bones versus the Prism is the surprise to me. I would like to maybe watch that and call it, you know, and see what's going on and see what happened there. Was Jacob just on some kind of tech I'm not aware of? Or was the Prism not used to this matchup? Or did they get unlucky? I don't know. But Prism probably should have won this matchup. The way it went this time was Jacob Clements went. A Gravy Bones and a Gravy Bones are going to make Gravy Bones go to the next round. Next up, we have Acilio and Fang. Fang just doesn't have the output that Dash.io does. Fang was looking probably more to hunt Gravy Bones in the top 8. Or Acilio just set up really well and popped off, right? Totally fine. We look at the next round. This way, there is a chance for I already know that Gravy fought Gravy in the last round, but this is the nightmare scenario. I'm also very confused at how Dash and Acilia weren't able to do this. Maybe I put out a few videos going over what happened, right? Watch these videos, kind of cast them on my own and see really what went down. These two, if I were to guess, should be like a 55-45 in the favor of Dash and Acilio. Maybe a 60-40 even. So there's always a chance that the Gravy can win with good play and a little bit of luck. But these should have been in favor for those other two decks. Obviously, we know what happened in Kansas City, and this is what people are calling for the bans for. I don't know. I didn't watch the top 8 of Kansas, so I don't exactly know. But man, they must have been spectacular matches and really well-played games by the Gravy Bones for them to get there. I know Jacob. I'm not as familiar with Evan Hernan, but I am familiar with Jacob Clement's play. Very good player. Gravy Bones definitely can win these games. Can. Every hero can win with the right circumstances. Grain of salt with that one. But just... So you see here, there were definitely counters in the top 8, but a few too many of them were knocked out in the first round of the top 8. And the pairings just were not correct for knocking Gravy out completely. That's going to happen. He's overrepresented. He has a higher chance of gemming in. He's also very good, so good players can definitely beat the counters if they're practiced enough. And that's really it. But, back to the point of how do you play around this meta? You need to pick up a Ninja. You need to pick up a Warrior. You need to pick up a Acilio. You might be able to get away with Bravo the Showstopper if you start using cards like Overload and E-Strike to clear out the allies, or you get really good Starstructs. I think it's like a 60-40 matchup for Bravo. And the only reason I'm suggesting the Showstopper is because he can dominate through those huge attacks. And Gravy doesn't really have a good armor suite. Like Starstruck shuts down most Gravy turns. Righteous Cleansing can go ahead and start working on getting rid of those allies from the game, not just into the graveyard, but from the game. There's ways to do it. You just need to play a little bit more. You need to have a bit more of the Brewers spirit and really get in there and play your games through and through. Put in your paces with those 3 or 4 classes. Mechanologist, 5 classes. Those all can take care of Gravy Bones pretty handily. And I believe you can. I believe in all of you Flesh and Blood players. I'm not just here to shit on you for no reason. I do believe that if you really wanted to, you could put in the effort. I do believe, just do it. Play this game. Take it to its competitive conclusion. Stop asking for bans that hurt other players because you want to play your battleships and just do what you want to do. Adapt to the meta. None of these top players started as a Gravy main, probably. But here they are playing the meta, okay? If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. If you want to try to be the dark horse and prove that you're the best of the best, do it. I want that for you, right? I don't ever really pick my hero except for this last ProQuest season, and that was my worst ProQuest season. Most of the time, all those heroes were chosen for me because I like to play the new class. Like, I try to force myself to play the new stuff, so I'm not so locked into one class. Do that. Have fun. I don't expect you to maintain full decks like I do. I don't expect all that. But it's a trading card game. If you're having some problems against your local meta and there's a lot of Gravy Bones, try to trade for some of the cards that will get you into Ninja, Warrior, Mechanologist, Prism, Acilio, right? Thanks for sticking around for this one, deckheads. If you like more opinion pieces like this, comment down below. Tell me what you really think about this. Spread this video so you can spread the awareness that yes, there are metas. Yes, there are answers. And yes, you need to choose which side you're on. Are you going to be on the primary form of the meta, which is the top 2 or 3 decks, or are you going to be on the counter side of the meta? It's a false dichotomy. You can try to dark horse your way in and have fun. Do that. Love the game, love yourself, subscribe, like, go to the Patreon, because if you would have gone to the Patreon, you would have already seen the Gravy vs. Gravy mirror in that one. Guys, thanks for chipping in on this one, and this one is zeroed.